Hi everybody, it's Jana Zunich from the Soul Food Bank here with class 2 in our series of classes about affirmative prayer called Speak Your Words in Prayer. Now yesterday's class we talked about what is prayer, the kind of types of prayers there are, and about affirmative prayer. When we talked about what is prayer, I gave you a few quotes. One of my favorites is Ralph Waldo Emerson, who says, and I'm paraphrasing, prayer is simply the contemplation of our lives, our situation, from the highest possible viewpoint. So then we talked about what kinds of prayer there are, and we talked about bargaining, begging, and beseeching prayer. We talked about ritual prayer, prayer for specific rites. We talked about intercessory prayer, intermediary prayer. We talked about devotional prayer. And then we came to affirmative prayer, and specifically spiritual mind treatment used by the Centers for Spiritual Living, which has 5 separate and distinct steps. Those steps are recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. And the first words of each of those steps, R-U-R-T-R, we call, are you ready to receive? That's the way to remember the order of the steps. And the reason why this prayer works so well is that each step has a specific purpose and outcome. Each step builds upon the previous step. Each step works to treat your mind and its false beliefs and ideas and replace those ideas with spiritual truths. Think of this prayer as a balm or a salve for those places in your mind where you have been told things that simply aren't true about you, such as you're not worthy. Of course you are. Each step guides our thoughts, beliefs, and feelings to the highest positive place. And each step prepares you to receive the outcome you desire. So we've talked about step 1, recognition, where we use the words and the language that means the most to us, that feels the best to us, that absolutely convinces us of the nature and the name and the qualities of our highest power. And once we've done that, we move on to step 2, unification. So now that we've described our higher power in terms that bring us to that place of feeling and knowing the presence all around us, we align ourselves with that presence and we claim its qualities as our own. And I say this is where we find the language to describe our unity and oneness, that with that which we named in step 1. Anyway, so here I have over here some of the qualities that we've assigned to our higher power: wholeness, joy, wisdom, peace, balance, abundance, love, beauty, harmony. And then I've added some connecting kind of words: unity, connected, indivisible, undivided, intertwined, joined, one. And these are words we can use in the unification step to really get that feeling that we are inseparable from our higher power. That's what we're going for, is that feeling that there cannot be any separation between us. And when we spend time in step 2, unification, we give ourselves a chance to attune or to connect with that higher power, to get into the vibration of that higher power, to feel ourselves merging with that higher energy and to open to that higher vibration, that higher energy that is all around us and inside of us, and then to just be in that place, to be in the place of connection, to be in the place of oneness, and really feel that, because from there we go on to the next step of the prayer, which is declaring our good or claiming what it is that we want in life. But the power from that comes from how well we can get step 1 and step 2 down so that we enter into the rest of the prayer completely connected and absolutely sure of ourselves. So unification allows us to individualize God in us. And I don't mean make our own individual God. I mean understand that we are divine beings and that the divine lives within us. It allows us to connect at a deeper level, to move from knowing the presence and being able to speak about your highest power, to move into that and connect to it and feel completely one with it. And this builds a sense of power and presence all around us and within us. And you see where the circles overlap. All this takes place in our heart. The Sufis believe that that's the place where we worship God, not in a temple or a mosque or a church or a sanctuary, but in the sanctuary of our own heart. So we really want to feel this at the deepest level when we're doing this part of the prayer. And unification is so important because it opens up a holy space in us. If you think about your heart as an altar, it opens up that space in your heart where you can now pray from the deepest, quietest place within you. It connects us to our divine power. So it takes the onus of the prayer needing to come true because of something we do and allows us to align with our highest power, align with divine power, and know that we are now letting it flow through us into the prayer, into our life, into the things that we say. So we of our own selves are not making anything happen. We are just tapping into that power, which makes everything happen. And when we do this unification, we absolutely feel our oneness. And one plus God equals a majority. Us plus God, us in God equals all that we need to have. So when we reach the point in our prayer where we're fully connected to our higher power and completely aware of our oneness with it and deeply entrenched in the altar of our heart, when we get to that place where we feel so totally unified and connected to that we don't feel any distance between us, I say this pretty much allows life to take care of itself. And the reason why I say that is that once we've gotten these first two steps down, we're pretty much in a state of surrender and willingness and openness and a readiness to yield to our own higher wisdom, our own higher knowledge, our own higher direction, let's say. So when we're at that place, the next steps for us to do pretty much show up. And so we just need to do the next indicated right thing. Some people say if you just did these first two steps of the prayer, that would be enough because you would put yourself in such a place that you would see the next step, see your path unfolding before you and be able to follow it. But we do move on in the prayer not to convince anyone else. We are not praying to convince anyone else, to work for anyone else, or to make this happen on our own. We're absolutely talking to our own mind, our own self, our own soul. And we're talking to our own self, mind, soul, body, heart, everything, all of us. We're talking to that, remember, as this healing salve, as this wonderful ointment or balm that we're putting on these thoughts that were entrenched in us when we were very, very young, perhaps by our families, perhaps by teachers, perhaps by experiences that we've had in life, and we're still carrying those on, and they keep us back from that which we really want, which is a wonderful life. So we speak to our own mind to put that healing treatment on the mind. So our next job in this class will be to find your own language of unity and claim your divine nature. So you will want to find the words that make you feel most connected to your higher power. Is that word indivisible? Is that word inseparable? Is that word one and only one? Whatever it is, whatever those words are, this is your time to find those words because we want these to resonate at the very deepest level as you speak them aloud. And then we'll claim our divine nature by what we said in the first step. We might have said, our beloved is infinite love, divine wisdom, complete wholeness. And so now in this second step, we say, and so because I am a part of the beloved, infinite love is a part of my life. Infinite love is available to me at all times. Perfect peace is what is the very nature of my cells. Perfect peace is who I am. Divine wisdom is available to me at all times. So you see, you're claiming your divine nature as you go. So here's your homework, and you can use these prompts to journal about your second step, unification. Ask yourself, how am I aligned with this power? Does it come in my breath? Am I inseparable from it? Is it because this power is everywhere, it has to be in me too? So we have to see, how am I aligned? How does this work? And then where does it reside in me? Is it in my breath? Is it in my heart? Is it in every cell? Is it around me like a cloud? What are those things? And remember, we're using words that are very evocative and feeling so that we can really get into this. And then we ask, what qualities do we share? Do we share love? Do we share peace? Do we share power? Do we share joy? And then write 3 to 5 sentences that express your oneness with your source. You'll find a downloadable homework sheet in our Facebook group, Your Daily Bread. If you want to come and join our group, you'll be able to see this class and you'll be able to get the homework. So that's it for this class, and I will leave you with a unification stage prayer before we leave, and we'll go on to stage 3 tomorrow. So having said that God is all there is, that Spirit is the only presence and power in the universe, that there is nothing outside of Spirit, I know that it must be true that Spirit is right here, right now, in my heart, in my cells, in my life, in everything that I think, in every space between the cells of my body. Spirit is right here. And that is true for everyone listening to this prayer, and anyone who hears this, is that Spirit is in all of us. We cannot be separated from us. We cannot be turned down by it. There is nothing we need to do to earn or deserve this unity. It simply is the spiritual truth of life, that Spirit is right here, right now, and it lives and moves and has its being inside of me. And so I know that infinite love is mine now. I know that wisdom is available to me at all times, that divine mind works in my mind, and that I can come to the greatest decisions for myself. I know that Spirit aligns itself with me so that when I tune in and tap into this power and presence, I am into the infinite source of joy, of peace, of balance, of harmony, of wholeness. That is who I am. And there is nothing outside of that. There is nothing greater than, more powerful than, more complete than Spirit and Spirit in me. I'll see you tomorrow for our next class.